Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in Zagreb for the Energy Week and with the Foster Egg project. And also, I'm glad to say we have a couple more of our projects that we're funding, presenting just a little bit later on here in this event as well. So it's good to get several projects together in one place, which is always something we like. I'm representing the European Commission EASME, which funds energy efficiency projects through the Horizon 2020 program for research and innovation. Probably the good place to start is to ask ourselves why we're spending EU funds on energy efficient regeneration. Well, there are a number of pressing challenges, some of which are very well known. We have the recent COP21 Paris Agreement to limit greenhouse gas emissions, and we have also some energy targets and climate targets for Europe. We have a general trend towards an energy transition away from fossil fuels towards renewables. We also have a challenge of having multiple levels of authority from the local, regional, national levels and at the EU level in the European Union, and internationally also there are the outside Europe is a similar kind of story of multiple levels of governance. Then we also have in public authorities quite often a lack of capacity, especially in smaller authorities, technical, financial and legal capacity to deal with some of these challenges to do with urban regeneration. And finally, a lot of different multiple stakeholders and separated disciplines, not least in the construction industry, which is often an important part of urban regeneration. So these are all together, and a lot of these kind of issues are tackled together in the Foster Egg project. Now, the European Commission has tabled some proposed new legislation or revisions to existing legislation to deal with the energy challenges. At the end of last year, there was a large package of new measures to improve energy efficiency right across the board with a headline target of 30% binding energy efficiency target. This is currently being negotiated with the European Parliament and Council, so we're yet to see the exact nature of what will come out of these negotiations, but at least the Commission proposals are for the revisions to the Energy Efficiency Directive, also the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, to update some of that with new developments such as smart buildings, and also some other areas of energy policy are being updated for energy-using products. Now, the way we at EASME work to put some of these policies into practice is to support the Horizon 2020 program, which works across research, demonstration, and market uptake to take research in energy right through to the market and get it out there working for us. We have, in 2017, we have some 700 million euros available in Horizon 2020 right across this societal challenge called secure, clean and efficient energy. The area that my unit in EASME works on is the energy efficiency part of this, which has about 104 million euros available this year for proposals. Now, these funding areas are 5 of them: buildings, heating and cooling, consumers, industry and products, and finance for sustainable energy. And we have a number of different topics and calls for proposals in Horizon 2020 that are open at the moment, with a deadline in June of this year, so next month, and across all of these areas of work. So I will go into detail on some of them that would be of interest to you today. First of all, on heating and cooling, which really means district heating and cooling networks. We have one topic open which is called improving existing district heating networks. Now, in the EU, we have a lot of existing district heating networks, and in some countries around half of the population is served by such networks, but they are quite often inefficient and old and in need of maintenance. They use fossil fuels, they're expensive for customers, customers don't have much control over them, so they have maybe a single temperature or a system that they can only turn on and off. And as a result, many people choose to disconnect from these and install inefficient individual fossil fuel-based boilers or other kind of individual heating systems. So in the topic, we're looking to improve that situation. You can get inspiration from this recent EASME publication on market uptake for district heating and cooling, which includes a number of examples of projects that we have funded over the last couple of years, including the Stratego project, which developed the European Thermal Atlas, which identifies in a kind of interactive map areas where there is heating demand in Europe, so that public authorities can plan work to do with district heating networks. And there's also, for example, the RES HC spread project, which was building capacity for public authorities to integrate renewable energy into district networks. We also have two topics open for consumer action. I'm just going to focus here on the topic EE9, activating public authorities. Now, this topic is in two parts, A and B. We choose to focus on public authorities because public authorities are often expected to lead by example in Europe, notably in the way some of the directives are written. In the Energy Efficiency Directive, for example, public authorities are expected to be first in line to implement energy efficiency measures and give an example to the rest of society and the private sector. So this topic, EE9, we're looking for proposals demonstrating an innovative approach to empower public authorities to step up their active role to develop, finance and implement ambitious, sustainable energy plans and measures. Public actors are encouraged to adopt a multi-stakeholder approach and to look at sectors with high energy saving potential, such as buildings, industry and urban mobility. Then the second part of the EE9 topic, which is open for proposals, is about peer-to-peer learning. Now, this is an interesting concept that can involve innovative energy-related exchange programs for public authority staff. They could include support to facilitators of peer-to-peer learning, including local and regional energy agencies and other relevant actors using various tried and tested techniques. For example, staff mobility schemes, peer-to-peer working, mentoring and work shadowing, peer reviews, study visits, and so on. We have just signed a new grant agreement for this kind of project from last year's call for proposals. It's called Prospect, but since it's only just signed, there's no website yet, but you can look out for that one. In the building sector, there are two topics open for proposals, and you're probably well aware that renovation of buildings is one of the major challenges that we face in Europe. So we have a topic open this year, as we have for a number of years, and probably will in the future again, focus on deep renovation. Deep renovation of buildings has a number of commonly known barriers which need to be overcome, and we also need to speed up the rate of renovation. We're not renovating buildings quickly enough, and too few of them are being renovated. So we're looking for proposals that tackle that, and also that improve the environmental and health and well-being of people in buildings. There's some inspiration you can take from a similar project that is quite successful, based on the Dutch model Energiesprong, which is a a fantastic system they have in the Netherlands to renovate social housing on a very big scale and very quickly. It only takes a few days with minimal disruption to the people living inside. And it involves social housing associations and also financing. So there's a complete package for people, including the financing system for them to renovate their homes. Of course, we can devise all kinds of policies for urban regeneration, for sustainable energy, but if the workforce isn't ready, if they're not trained properly, then we won't achieve the energy savings that we're looking for. So we're also financing proposals under Horizon 2020 to tackle this problem in the construction skills topic, but I won't go into detail in that right now. And then finally, the industry and products section, I want to focus on this area, EE19, public procurement for innovative solutions, because this can be of interest to public authorities as well. Public procurement of innovative solutions, well, the Energy Efficiency Directive requires that European member state governments purchase only products, services and buildings with high energy performance. So public procurement of innovative solutions, or PPI, is not sufficiently developed in the field of energy efficiency, although it could support the market uptake of energy efficient goods, buildings and services. So this topic involves actions enabling a group of procurers, a kind of buyers group, to undertake procurement of innovative solutions for products, surfaces, including, for example, high energy performance buildings and renovations, which are not yet available on a large scale on a commercial basis. There's an example of one of these PPI projects which is up and running, which you can see. The SEPI project brings together 5 European cities that are intervening in public tenders to ensure that energy savings are realized in those tenders. So it's aiming to save 33 gigawatt hours per year and to develop the capacity for public authorities to implement innovative procurement for energy-related projects. And then these 5 cities, which include Valencia here, but also Glasgow and Budapest and others, will adopt a leadership role in their regions. Now, finally, there's an important suite of proposals that we're looking for on finance for sustainable energy. We have a special focus on this several years now, and I want to focus in particular on this topic called project development assistance, because this is something that we think is very useful for public authorities to be able to implement large-scale energy efficiency measures. It's called PDA, and its purpose is to build a credible pipeline of sustainable energy projects across Europe to showcase that energy efficiency is a real business case that's attractive to investors. So PDA projects should lead to concrete sustainable energy investments and innovative financing schemes or solutions. So project development measures are funded to build the necessary technical, economic and legal expertise to help set up a significant investment portfolio during the project duration. This means that we fund, for example, design of business plans or feasibility studies, financial engineering measures, development of technical specifications, and the preparation of public procurement procedures. The target groups of PDA are both public and private project promoters. So, for example, public authorities, public or private infrastructure operators and bodies, energy services companies, retail chains, estate managers, and services or industry. One of the particularities of this topic is that it's actually open to one single legal entity from one member state of the EU. So there doesn't need to be a consortium as with most of these topics. So the PDA focuses energy efficiency investments in these areas: existing public and private buildings, street lighting, retrofitting of existing district heating and cooling, urban transport, and industry and services. And the size of the investment portfolio that we're looking for is between 7.5 and 50 million euros. And this complements the European Investment Bank's ELENA facility that tends to look for larger scale than this, starting from 30 million and going up. So this fills a gap for a size that's a little bit lower than what the EIB would be normally interested in. So EASME is supporting capacity building in various ways. We are holding a series of events called Sustainable Energy Investment Forum. These are a series of workshops that are organized according to a tender that we are funding. And then we also have national finance platforms, which are websites with dedicated information tailored to individual countries. We at the moment have some for Spain, Austria, Netherlands, Italy and France. There's also the Manage Energy portal, which is coming online soon after some time of being offline. It used to be a portal that was quite popular, and we're starting it up again with new funding, which would exchange on energy efficiency finance and information for managing authorities. And then there's also a peer-to-peer facility, which is this topic that I was describing earlier, which is a kind of Erasmus for public authorities. So these SEI forums are a series of events that we've been holding. There was a big one in Brussels, and now there are regional SEI fora happening across different regions of Europe, focusing on the particularities of individual regions. And there's a whole pipeline of these events taking place soon. There's just the web link for the Manage Energy, which is, as I said, coming online soon. It's starting in June. If you look at that website, manageenergy.net, at the moment, it will redirect you to our EASME website, to a holding page, but soon you will have a new version of this website for managing authorities and energy agencies. And finally, just a quick word about the Build-Up portal for buildings, which many of you probably are watching online now through the Build-Up portal, which is hosting this web stream. It's the main portal for energy efficiency in buildings for Europe. It continuously undergoes improvements and new features. Projects such as Foster Egg and other Horizon 2020 projects can organize webinars through Build-Up, and it is a very useful place to find information. And it also has a multilingual facility, including Croatian. You can find out more information about all of what I've said, all of these topics, from the EASME website on the energy part of it, and you can follow us on Twitter as well. Thank you.